Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at something very special. We're going to be checking out Kotobukiya's Aliyah mirror finish figure here, which is a part of their Decoction models line, but it's not an actual model kit as we generally think of it. There will be some assembly required, but essentially this is going to be like sort of an armored core version of like a metal build, something like that, as I understand it. So as you can see, it's a fairly big box here, very fancy, very high-end looking box, as their Decoction models line is labeled as Kotobukiya high-end masterpiece, and certainly looks to be the case for this particular figure, which is certainly a pretty spicy boy when it comes to the price. But I think like for armored core fans, this, especially in this mirror finish, is gonna look really nice. The kind of thing that you're probably gonna want to keep in a display case, I would imagine, like once you have it all put together and like in a display. But for today's video, we're gonna take a look around the box, pop it open, go through all the contents, and then we'll check out the built and assembled figure. We gotta say a huge thank you to Kotobukiya for offering to send this to me to review and share with you guys here on the channel. So thank you everyone there at Kotobukiya. This is definitely going to be a really unique one, so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's go ahead and get into it. So for the box art here on the front, you can see we have this matte black finish for the background, and then the photo is in this glossy finish there, which kind of emphasizes the mirror finish version here for this. The text also in that shiny silver. You can see the Kotobukiya logos and the Decoction models logo there down at the bottom. So really cool here on the front. On the side, we're just gonna have like that shadow image there in the background with that silver here, this high gloss chrome over here on the side, really catching the light there. Around on the other side, just like with the front, we have the matte black and the image there in gloss of just the model just standing. And then similar on the top of the box here as well, except the photo is not in gloss, only the text and this part right here. On the back side, it's all gloss here with that like shiny mirror chrome. You got the background image and then a few other like action pose images there of what the model is going to look like. Some detail images down here at the bottom. And then a little bit about the Decoction models branding here. Kotobukiya presents a new high-end brand that explores the charm of each character to its limits. Decoct being an acronym for dynamic, extend, compound, original, classic, tempting. Okay, interesting enough. Around on the bottom of the box, not much to see here, but there is our MSRP for this one coming in at 50,000 yen, which is, yeah, like I said, it's gonna be a little bit more of an expensive one. Let's go ahead and pop it open and see what we've got in here. So it seems like everything's gonna be in these plastic clamshells. And like I said, it's all like kind of pre-built and pre-painted and everything. So it's just gonna be assembly required. This tray looks to be like, well, there's some batteries in there for one. So we've got an LED gimmick apparently. Hand parts and weapons parts here mostly. So the weapon and accessory bits. Here we've got a display base, really nice. Just like a square black display base there with the Rayleonard logo. There you can see in the corner. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. And I'm curious as to just how much of this is assembled already or just how much assembly is going to be required. But actually, looking at this kind of how this is, it looks like it's pretty much mostly assembled. Oh, okay, yeah, so it's basically all assembled. There's much less assembly required than I was expecting. So we've got our instruction booklet here. Inside here, it's just basically letting us know the included components that we have with this. You have like the display base, the arm for the display base, the hand option parts, and then the weaponry and accessory parts that are going to go around there on like that. There's some instructions inside about how to equip the weapons, how to attach those onto there, like how to attach them into the hands and everything. It looks like there's a little bit of an explanation about like which parts move on the kit, which is always good to know, because on something like this, like if there's a movable part, you want to know, you don't want to just be like moving random bits, you know, thinking that it's going to move and then you end up breaking things. So it's always good that they kind of go over this. So I'll go over that with you guys once we get this released from its prison here. But as you can see, it looks pretty well packaged and protected. Let's see, is there going to be tape around here? Of course there is. All right, now we should be able to pop that open. Oh, easy peasy. Ooh, look at that. This thing looks cool. So we do have what looks like one loose bit is floating around in there. Otherwise, this is quite large as well. I don't think that it says anywhere on the box what the scale is meant to be on this, but it definitely looks larger than some of the other Kotobukiya like armored core model kits that I've built. And that high gloss on the black is really nice looking. I'm gonna go throw some gloves on real quick and then we'll pop this out of here and take a closer look. So here it is popped out of the box, looking so shiny and so cool. The gold accents against the black look really, really cool. Under this lighting here, hopefully you guys can see it all right, but I mean, it's the kind of thing that you're gonna want like pretty well lit, because that high gloss black looks really cool with like the light reflecting on the different surfaces and stuff, but unless you have it, you know, like pretty decently lit, then it's not really gonna be so easily seen, I feel like. But I do have a couple of other ideas that also might help with that, and we'll get back to that in a moment. But I gotta say the figure is very impressive, quite large, and the quality of it seems just really, really nice from just handling it a little bit here so far. But of course we do have some more gimmicks and weapons and things that we're gonna add onto this here. So let's go ahead and go through some of that stuff here now. So I wanna go through the accessories and then we'll talk some more about the main body. We'll go through the gimmicks, the LED, and everything else on here with this, just kind of the overall feel. It's got a nice weight to it. But as for our accessories, we do have a few different hand options. You have these closed fists like this. We've got a set of trigger finger extended weapon holding hands here, and the nice thing about these is that the fingers are in like a softer plastic, and this is meant to come out just so that it's easier to get the weapon gripped in the hand here. But the fingers are in a softer rubbery plastic, so you don't have to worry about those breaking, which is nice. And it's the same thing on the closed fists, and it's the same thing for our set of open hands here as well. So you have these for the left and the right side, and again the fingers are in this soft rubbery plastic, so you don't have to worry about breaking those. But the backing being in that high gloss black still looks really nice. Some fantastic details on there on those. Then for our weapons and accessories here, this first assault rifle, this has a few different parts that move. This part down here at the bottom moves back and forth like that. The part on the back end also extends out a little bit there like that. And also the magazine on the top you can remove, and you have like the gold painted detail of the bullet inside there and everything. So that's really cool. Now the reason for this part extending here at the back is then that will actually plug into the forearm. So when this is being held in the hand, there's this part of the forearm right here that will extend out. This part will fold down, and this part extends in and out there, as you guys can hopefully see. Again, with this being so dark black, I know it's kind of hard to see. You do have this both on the right and the left side, but there's a little peg inside there that will plug into the hole on the back end of the assault rifle right there. So when it's held in the hand, it's also stabilized by that part from the forearm attaching into that right there. As far as just like the colors of this, it's in this multi-tone sort of gunmetal and gray color scheme. You do have a little bit of metallic red for the camera there on that, but that looks really nice. Then for our other main handheld weapon here, this rifle is also super cool. This one also has a little bit of metallic kind of reddish pink up there for the camera. On that, this one also has a gimmick where this part slides back up, and the ammo is not supposed to fall out, but I already tried this, and so it's maybe kind of loosened from that. But again, you have the bullet detail molded into that. That will just fit into place, and then closing this, opening, closing that like that, that should hold that in place. And you can see with both of the handheld weapons, they have that cutout there in the handle that is going to fit into a tab that's on the inside of the weapon holding hand there, so it should be pretty nice and secure into the hand. Otherwise, the coloring for this one, again, just being in multiple shades of kind of metallic gunmetal gray sort of color for that, looks really nice. Then we've got our two flare units that are going to attach onto the shoulders. Now these are going to be attached via a peg right there and can be raised up and down, obviously rotated here as well, and then these will open up. And as I understand it from just doing a little bit of research ahead of time, these are flares that are meant to either be fired forward or down. But of course, if you wanted to, you could rotate this upwards as well. Some really nice detail there on the inside, as you can see. And these are not, I wish that these were like geared so that when you open one side, it opens both at the same time, but you just have to open them kind of manually separate like that. Ultimately, like fully open goes all the way out to there. Otherwise, you can choose kind of how far you want that to be open or not. And these are just going to be symmetrical. As I said, just plugged onto this side of the shoulder here, just via that peg. And it is a nice long peg with a little snap joint in there as well, so it's nice and secure in there for sure. Now, as for our back mounted grenade cannon, this one as well has the gimmick of the magazine coming off, and you have your grenade ammo there stored on both sides. There's one on both sides. Those can both be removed like that and attached back into there. This is obviously going to attach to the backpack via this peg. If we go around here to the back, there's one of these on each side. That's just like a cap here on the hard point. We can remove that, and then we can plug our grenade cannon here onto the back. And then when this is attached onto the back, you can of course either have it folded back like so, or we can fold the barrel forward like that. There's no other like gimmick to that other than that we just have this little bit of red, metallic red painted there for the camera on this one as well. And this is spring loaded, so as you can see, it just kind of pushes in and out there like that. There's a bit in the manual talking about how there's like supposed to be like a locking mechanism or something here on the bottom, I guess. I can't really quite figure it out though. So anyway, it's just spring loaded there like that, and quite long, with this having an overall extended length of nearly 29 centimeters. And on that note, while I've got it here, the figure itself is going to be standing around 23 centimeters in total head height as well. So just to give you guys a sense of the size of this, compared to something like a 1/100 scale Gundam model or something like that, it's definitely going to be larger in the size of like a large, like quite large master grade. And that's it for the main accessories. Then last but not least is of course our base, which is also quite large. As I said, has the little logo there printed on that. And then here at the backside has this flexible arm and this hard point that will plug into the backside of the unit. There's a screw on here that you can tighten and loosen in order to raise this up and down along this kind of flexible part here. And then where this is going to plug into the figure is going to be right under here, kind of like the center of the back. There's a little panel that you can remove, and that's going to be our hard point for where the stand is going to be plugged into this. And while we're here, that's the perfect transition to talk about some more gimmicks here on the actual kit itself. So going to go through the gimmicks, and then I'll kind of talk some more about just kind of general feel of it for the most part here. We have some opening panels here at the back side. These two side panels that open up, and then the center panel that will open down here like that for that kind of booster detail there at the back. Super cool. Fold that down and down like that to close that back up. On like the side of the backpack here, these panels can also be opened up slightly, although I'm not really able to open it all that much as it looks like it opens in the manual, but there's more mechanical detail inside of there. Again, it's going to be kind of hard to see. A similar effect down here on the sides of the legs. These panels can also be opened and then slid upwards like that to reveal more mechanical detail on the inside of these parts here on the side of the leg, for example. On the sides of the top of the leg, kind of the hip side skirt armor pieces here, these also have these little fins that will open up out to the side there like that. Here on the arm, this gold piece here at the back can be pulled out, as you can see there like that. And then similarly on the front as well is what I'm going to use a tool for, because it's kind of tricky to get that one, but that one also pops out like that, revealing some of that mechanical detail inside. Also, this part here on the side of the arm will slide forward and back. You slide that back and then angle this out. So basically just to be able to move this part here on like the back side of the forearm. Back around here on the chest, this part here on the front will kind of like lift up and forward, again just kind of revealing a little bit more mechanical detail up inside of there. These chest parts here can be pushed back, and you can push those back into there. They're also kind of spring loaded, and then this part underneath will kind of pull forward and close up over the front of there. All right, so I think I got it. It's basically just a matter of pulling that under part up into the front, like as far as that will go, to sort of cover up those bits there in the chest. Otherwise, you can kind of push that back down underneath there and have those out and exposed there like that. Those don't have like a locking mechanism to, like, when you push them back, they lock into place, but they are just spring loaded basically in there. Now, as for the head and the LED gimmick, so the head is also super cool. And in there, like for the visor, it's a clear red part, gonna be kind of hard to see under these lighting conditions, but you go back here onto this part right behind the head. Now, one thing I'll point out about the antenna there on the head is also a soft rubber piece, so you don't have to worry about breaking that antenna detail. But if you remove this, on the top there is a little on-off switch, and I got the batteries in there. You just need a screwdriver to take off the cover, put the batteries in, the included batteries, mind you, very nice. Hit that switch, and the lights comes on there and pipes through the neck up into the head, lights up the visor there really nicely in that bright red. It looks really cool. And I won't go through like all of the points of articulation, but we have just a ton of articulation here with this thing. Everything moves. Basically, you have these parts here on the side that are attached via ball joints, the knees and the legs. You can see how we have this really nice kind of knee bend between like multiple points of movement there. And then the ankles, you have these individual toe movements, this part here on the top of the foot that moves. I'm not sure how well you guys are gonna be able to see this. I hope that you can, but I don't know how easy it is to see on camera, but it's not all the same color black. There is actually two different tones. There's like a pure black and then like a very dark brown. So maybe you can see that here in the forearm there as an example. You can see this part here is in black and then this lower part there is in that dark brown. It's a very subtle difference, but it looks nice. And now when posing this, unfortunately, there are a couple of things that I'm noticing. Number one, this flexible arm here, although it feels pretty hefty, not really enough to hold up the weight of the kit. So let's say, for example, you wanted to have it something like this and the kit, the figure is, a couple inches off the base. It's holding it, but I feel like it's really a balancing act, because as soon as that starts to lean, it's gonna start going down. So it's kind of holding it there for the moment actually, but it really feels like it's just barely keeping that in place. Also noticing that the ball joint for the shoulder, or the arm attached into the body, is also not strong enough. So let's say you wanted to have the arm up doing a pose like something like that. It's just going to fall back forward. So you can kind of just like rotate the arm itself, but the shoulder is not really going to be able to support its own weight of holding anything up like that, unfortunately. So overall, as you guys can see here, when it comes down to posing the kit, I mean, just because it is very highly posable, even with the weight issues that it does have, I mean, you are able to do kind of your standard Armored Core poses with this. Being, you know, someone who normally works with a lot of Gundam model kits, I'm always kind of having like very high expectations when it comes to posing but I tend to forget that AC units like this are usually not like quite as so dynamic. They're not doing like crazy kung fu, highly dynamic poses like you expect like with like some different Gundam models and things like that. So as far as the different types of poses that you would expect from an Armored Core figure like this, I think it's able to do pretty much everything that you would want it to do. There are going to be some weight issues that you're going to have to work around that are going to limit you slightly, but I think overall this is just an amazing display piece. And so I think like this is something that's really for like the hardcore Armored Core fans, which I know there's a lot of out there. And if that's you, then I think the high cost of this figure is definitely something that you could justify and be very happy with having this in your display. Again, if you have a proper glass closed in display case for this, because it's the one thing with that high gloss black plastic, you're going to want to try to keep it free from dust and fingerprints. So, you know, get some latex gloves to handle it. Keep it in a nice enclosed case where it's not going to get dusty. And, you know, it's a really, really good looking figure. It looks fantastic. It's a really nice big size, fantastic details on there. Now, one thing that I think might be a really great thing to add to this, if you did want to, you know, add something to it, I think this would look really great with some decals on there. In particular, I think like gold decals on the black armor pieces would look super, super cool. So something that I may look into doing in the future. I don't have the time to do it like at the moment, but we're going to keep this in the display case in the storefront here at USA Gundam Store. And maybe at some point later during a build day or something like that, I'll break it out and put some gold decals on it, because I think that would actually look really, really nice, and kind of help to add some detail into those black voids areas that you have like around in the armor. But that's it for this one, guys. Again, thank you to Kotobukiya for sending this to me to check out. Super cool, super unique. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this down in the comment section below. If you want to check this out for yourself, I know at the time of recording this review, we have one left in stock here at USA Gundam Store, so if anyone's interested, you can snag up that last one. Otherwise, I'm sure you can find it in other places online. But if it's just Armored Core that you're looking for, we have lots of other Armored Core model kits from both Kotobukiya and Bandai as well. They're on the website, so check those out. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed taking a look at something quite different here for today's video. I'm anxious to hear your guys' thoughts on this one in the comment section. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like as well. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.